Hi everyone, how we all doing? Never know really what to do on my intro, so hi, how are we doing? I know it's been a little while since I've last filmed because if you watched my last video you'll know that my ring light broke, which was just fabulous, but thankfully my very handy father has temporarily fixed it, so let's just get a filming session while it's still working. Anyway, today I'm reviewing for you the new-ish Morphe Fluidity foundation and their concealer to go with it. So if you want to see what it's like, carry on watching. Okay, so here is the Fluidity foundation. It comes in just a normal tube kind of plasticky kind of packaging really. I actually stupidly threw the packaging away because I've been using these products for a little while now. Excuse me. Yeah, they just came in like normal cardboard packaging, and this is the Morphe Fluidity concealer. Typical kind of concealer packaging, sort of quite acrylic-y kind of feel. Got the foundation in shade F220 and the concealer in C125. So as I have been using these products for about a week now, it is going to be more of like a how I find best to use them, how they go on best kind of video advice review thingy for you. So anyway, after my burbling, let's crack on. I'm just going to pop on a normal kind of primer. I'm just going to pop on the Nip and Fab primer. This one is just like a gel like consistency, doesn't particularly give you much of an effect either way, but it's just like a good all-rounder. I tried to put a headscarf in my hair, you know, try and make it look a bit cute, you know, like I've made a bit of effort even though I'm going to be makeupless for a little while, and yeah, wouldn't work with it. You know, when you just think, sometimes I sling this in my hair and it goes in perfectly, and sometimes it doesn't. So after about 5 minutes and then just throwing it on the floor, I thought, I'm just going to put my hair in a bun. It's all out the way, don't worry about it. It's the makeup that we're focusing on. So I've just put the primer on. Now this is a matte foundation, but I have worn it matte a couple of times, but I still don't feel like it makes you look so matte that you look like really flat, if that makes sense. Because I'm not really a matte girl. I know obviously a lot of people are, but I am not. So even though this is a matte foundation and I was dying to try it, you can still make matte products like this look dewy if that's the way you want them to look. So you can still make them quite versatile. Sometimes if you fancy being matte, or sometimes if you fancy being dewy. But yeah, if you like just the matte effect, then obviously you can just wear it as it is. But me being moi, I like to wear it a bit dewy. So as you might have seen before in a glowy summery video that I did in the summer, funnily enough, if I want my makeup to look really dewy, I tend to wear a liquid highlighter underneath. So I've got the Nip and Fab Liquid Gold liquid highlighter, and I just like to dab that across my face. Just like that. Now I have still got a tad of fake tan left, and this shade is good for me actually when I haven't got a fake tan. If I fancy throwing a little bit of colour to my face, I might mix in a little bit of liquid bronzer, but when I've still got fake tan on, I usually put on a fair bit of liquid bronzer with it. So I'm just going to blend that in. I was actually quite surprised, because it's really hard, isn't it, when you're online and you're trying to find the foundation shade for you, but the foundation colour actually worked out really well for me, so I was really pleased. Can't say the same for the concealer, but we'll move on to that in a sec. Just going to blend that in a little bit and I end up looking a bit like the Tin Man, but it's fine. Tin Man look glowy, right? So yeah, just make sure that's all nice and blended in. Like I said, I will also obviously tell you guys about what it's like matte as well, and how it lasts throughout the day. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about this foundation as a whole and just how I found it's best to wear it, particularly for dewy skin people. So, like I said, I've still got a bit of fake tan on, so you can kind of ignore this step, but if you have got a fake tan on and your foundation is a bit light for you, I like to mix in, just after that, then a liquid bronzer. This one is very well used, so excuse the bit of dirt on it. This is the Me Heavenly Bronzing Gel, and I don't think I could live without this product. Me Cosmetics is the brand that I stock within my salon, and I'm just obsessed with this product when I've got a fake tan. So I just like to mix this in with the foundation, and then that way I find that I don't need to have a, this is my fake tan foundation and this is my normal foundation. Makes products a lot more versatile. Or if I'm ever like crazy pale, like I said earlier, and I want to warm my face up a bit, I just use a tiny bit of this in with my foundation rather than the amount I use when I've got a bit of fake tan, like now. So let's move on to the bit we're interested in, the foundation. Now, the claims on the Morphe, and I look a bit mental right now, but it's fine. You know the process, you know how it works. So on the Morphe website, it says the benefits are 24-hour long wear. Again, argued this before, does anyone actually wear foundation 24 hours? Has anyone actually tested this out? Maybe I should one day. Sweat proof, transfer resistant, water resistant, free of oils, fragrance and parabens, great for all skin types, especially normal to oily skin. Now then, when this foundation first came out, I'm just going to pop this on while I'm talking to you. When this foundation first came out, people were going a bit mental, saying how awful it was for dry skin, which I completely get. I mean, I haven't got dry skin, thankfully, so I can't really have an opinion on how it is with dry skin. But I think people need to bear in mind that not every foundation in the world is amazing for each skin type. You know, that's why there's different foundations for different skin types. Or, you know, people find that this foundation works better for their skin, this person finds something else. No foundation that comes out is going to be incredible on every skin. So I think we need to be a bit kinder to our brand sometimes, because people were going in on Morphe, and as much as we support our brands, I sometimes feel like sometimes they can't win either. I mean, they brought out like, what was it, like 60 shades I think or something in this foundation. You know, normally it's people going mental about that, but incredible shade range for this foundation. And like I said, the fact that it's matte is great, but like I said, as I am doing, you can also make it look dewy. So I'm just using barely any pressure and just slightly mixing those products together. Obviously, if you weren't mixing any other products in, you could just pop it straight on your face and get blended in, but as I always had the liquid bronzer in there as well, I just do that, and then I really go in with the blending with my beauty blender. Now I think this blends in so nicely, especially for a full coverage foundation. I'm not usually a full coverage girl, so buying a matte full coverage foundation felt a little bit out of my comfort zone, because I'm usually neither. But like I said, I really like this foundation. Initially when I first started putting it on, it blends in really nicely. Make sure I get all in my hairline. And even for a matte foundation, a full coverage foundation, sorry, it doesn't make you look really cakey. I think you still look fairly natural with it, which I really like. Half the reason I got put off of full coverage foundations is that I just hate looking like really cakey, which I think most of us probably do. But okay, and if you feel like you need any extra coverage anywhere else, obviously you can go in and do that. I think I'm actually okay with just that one layer. It does have really good coverage. I really like this foundation for that. Like I said, I've been using it for about a week and a half now, and I do actually really like it for that. I just need to make sure that I blend all the way down my neck. Okay, so for the concealer, I've definitely gone far too light with my concealer. Even when I haven't got fake tan on, it still looked a bit mental. So I've learnt my lesson there. There isn't as many concealer shades as there is foundation shades, which there isn't often, so it didn't surprise me. But this is far too light for me. You can probably see on camera. So that's my foundation, that's my concealer. So you can see there's quite a big difference there. So even when I wasn't fake tanned when I first got this, I still had to mix in a couple of dots of liquid bronzer. So here we go. Just popping that in all the normal places. So I did have, when I first started using this, like I said, not that long ago, I had a massive blemish on my chin. I had a big spot here and then a few little ones here, and I had a couple on my forehead as well. And even though you could obviously see the slight bumps, it covered it up really well. I thought it was brilliant. La la la. Client wise, I'm not sure what this would be like on mature skins. Maybe I should pop a bit on my mother and see what she thinks. Sometimes the fuller coverage foundations do look a bit cakey on mature skin because they sit in the lines, but it'd be quite interesting to see what this was like. So yeah, I know I look a bit mental and like I'm putting 6,000 things on my face, but I'm actually not. Like I said, it is mainly because I'm fake tanned that I had to put some of the liquid bronzer in with this as well. So it's going to really lightly barely putting any pressure on that, just mix them two together. And then again, blend that in. Now on a day-to-day basis, I don't always wear foundation, so if I haven't got a lot of time, or if I am like freshly fake tan, so my skin's like a bit more even anyway, I do just wear concealer. Still do the rest of my makeup near enough the same, but I just wear concealer rather than foundation. And I have really liked this concealer for that. Some of the concealers that I've got aren't quite as good a coverage to replace with foundation, or haven't lasted as long, but this one I think is, actually, I'll say it, it's probably the best one I've got if I just fancy not wearing as much makeup or not wearing foundation. If I just dot this around, blend it all out and still powder and contour and everything like that, literally just skip foundation, still gives a really nice finish, and I still look like I've got makeup on with a sort of a decent amount of coverage, but again, I don't look cakey or overly made up, so that's always good times. Now I just blended that out again, it does blend out really, really nicely. And you can see, obviously, even though it is a matte foundation, I have got a glow underneath, which is what I'm all about. So if you ever want a little bit of extra coverage, which I often do just around there, and just pop a bit more of the concealer. Now the applicator is quite narrow, let me just show that, it's quite narrow, but it's quite wide, so I quite like that. It's quite a nice applicator for that. I don't always like it when concealers have got like a massive applicator, because sometimes you want to be a bit more precise as where you're putting it. So again, just get a tiny little dot of my liquid bronzer. Honestly don't know what I would do without this. Okay, so I've just blended in the rest of that concealer. Again, it's blended in really nicely. Even when you try and build up the coverage, it still blends in really, really nicely. So yeah, I have been super impressed. It doesn't feel, it feels a little bit sticky, but not, I haven't got any coming off on my finger. Yeah, so yeah, it feels a little bit sticky, but not, doesn't like feel horrible. So I'm just gonna get on with the rest of my makeup and check back in a minute. So my hair has gone a little bit wild since taking it out of the bun, but it's fine. We can get some straightness to smooth bits in a bit. Right, so I've finished the rest of my makeup, done the usual, contoured, powdered, eyes, lip gloss, blah, 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 all the usual. But yeah, foundation still looks really nice. Just zoomed in a bit for you. So yeah, I really like how the foundation has come out. The concealer and the foundation work really well together. They just go really seamless. They build well, they blend well. For somebody who likes a dewy, medium coverage, fairly natural looking foundation, to buy a matte full coverage foundation was a bit out of my comfort zone, as I've already said, but I really wanted to try it, and I do like Morphe products, so I was excited, because as we all know, when a new makeup product comes out, you can't help but try it out. It's a really good price point as well. The foundation was £16, and I think the concealer was less, but altogether I remember it being about £25 for both, so I thought that was really good. Don't need an awful lot, especially with it being full coverage, but yeah, I do really like it. I remembered I wanted to say to you that throughout the week that I've been using it, some days I've used setting spray, some days I haven't. It doesn't seem to make an awful lot of difference with this foundation, which is obviously great, and with it being supposedly transfer resistant and all that kind of thing, that's really, really good. So basically, as you've probably already guessed, I really, really like it. I haven't had any products since I've been using it go blotchy or cakey or anything over the top of it, so yeah, just an all-round good one, I think. Don't be put off if you do like dewy finishes, because like I said, as I have shown, you can still make that look nice and glowy even with a matte foundation, which obviously you can do with any matte foundation, so I'm going to try and not be put off by that in future. Concealer as well, as I already talked about, do really like it, blends in well with this foundation, is also a great concealer, just if you don't fancy wearing foundation but still want to cover up any blemishes or any dark circles or anything like that. So together, make a good team, and separately they do too, although I haven't actually used this foundation with another concealer yet because I've just been temporarily obsessing over this one. So there you go. I'm going to stop burbling now. Definitely recommend these, awesome price point. Go and try them out for yourself. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you all on my next one. Bye guys!